So everyone always wants to talk about knowing your why, knowing why you do what you do and how that's important to your journey and all that jazz. But today I want to talk about why you want to know your why. One of the reasons why that can help you out, why that, applies to getting you closer towards your goals and helping you achieve what you're looking to achieve. And so what is going on? Hope everybody is doing well. Happy Thursday. I believe it's Thursday today as this is dropping. It is, it's actually Saturday afternoon as I record this, but happy Thursday. And so what is going on? How is everybody's day going? I hope that it is going well. Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Henriksen, and if you're brand new to this show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development, how to get your life moving in the right direction if you're not feeling good about where you are right now in your life. And so today, what I wanted to focus on was something that was going through my mind recently. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not. And so I just kind of wanted to share my experience. And so, when you're going through different stages in your life, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come to you and want to give you advice, give you input, and give you kind of their 2 cents about what you're doing or why you're doing it or how you're doing it. And they're going to, like I said, try and give you their advice. And this is based off of them trying to help you, them wanting the best for you, wanting you to succeed or wanting you not to fail. There's different reasons why they want to come and approach you and let you know why you're, maybe not doing the right thing, or you're maybe doing the right thing, but you're doing it the wrong way, or whatever it could be. And these could be your best friends. It could be your boyfriend. It could be your girlfriend. It could be your parents. A lot of these, a lot of people struggle with having their parents, once they become adults, having their parents give them advice, or, people like me, I struggle when my girlfriend tries to give me advice. Like, I'm always like, no, I should be the one, that knows, or why can't I just do this without, having to be corrected? Why, we kind of get this weird, I don't know, everyone has their own different things. And so what I wanted to talk about today is something that I've struggled with, I still struggle with, and it's kind of, I guess, for lack of a better term, it's kind of just like filtering the input that you're getting and thinking about why people might be giving you this input, and, if you should take it to heart, if you should listen, if you should try and implement it in your life, or if you need to kind of do your own thing and say, hey, thank you so much, and I appreciate that. But I'm going to choose to do things this way because of this reason or whatever it could be. And I think that one of the ways that we can help differentiate a lot of these different things is when we know our why, when we know why we're doing what we're doing. Because I think a lot of the time when we set off to do something in life, many people will kind of look at us and say like, well, why would you do that? Why, or maybe they won't say it at all. Maybe they won't, but maybe you just think about it, and your motivation might be different than, what motivates them to do the things that they do in their life. Some people are a little bit more philanthropic, and they want to do things for the betterment of their neighborhood. They want to do things for the betterment of the community or the world or whatever it could be. And then other people are kind of more like, hey, I want to do this for the money. I want to do this to amass, a certain amount of wealth or a certain amount of things, and to be able to, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's just kind of like a surface level thing. It's, you could look at it as like, hey, I want to be able to provide whatever my kids need or whatever, or maybe a better life for them, more of a leg up than I got when I started. It's that for some people, that's their motivation. And everyone's going to have different reasons why they're doing what they're doing. And I think a lot of the time, what we do is we project our reasons for doing what we do onto other people. And I think that a lot of the time, that's one of the ways or one of the reasons why we will start to give somebody advice in the first place, because we're like, oh, I'm doing this thing, and so I'm assuming that they're doing the same thing or something similar for the same reason that I'm doing the thing that I'm doing. We always make that assumption. And so when we're giving people advice, we're thinking, hey, they want to probably get to the same end goal as me. And so I'm going to give them the advice that I needed, or the advice that I, want to give them, basically. And that's doing. What you're doing when you're doing that is you're kind of assuming where they want to go. It's kind of just like, here, let me draw you a map. And you're like, well, like, where to? And they're like, well, you're going to love the destination. And you're like, okay, but where is it? Because I kind of have like another place in mind that I want to go. And they're like, no, just trust my map. And you're like, well, have you been to where I want to go? And they're like, no, I'm not, I'm telling you where you want to go. Like, I'm telling you and how to get there as well. And it's kind of like this weird situation. And so I think that a lot of the times when you know your why, you know the reason why you do what you do, then you're able to kind of filter out that input in a way that it's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, or this might help me improve in a different area of life. But like, hey, there's a little bit of a disconnect. Like, I want to go somewhere that you haven't gone or don't want to go. And so I'm going to take, maybe your advice as like a lesson. I'll maybe stick it in my back pocket, but it's not going to impact, why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And then other times, if you're encountering the same problem over and over and over again, or if you kind of admire someone or they've kind of overcome the obstacles that you overcome, and most importantly, if they share the same like values and desires as you in life, and they've maybe achieved things that you want to achieve, but you haven't yet, then maybe it's time to not just like sit and listen to anything they say, but start to ask them questions about like how you could emulate some of those things. Like, if you trust this person's judgment, if they've been helpful for you in the past and they kind of help lift you up, they're not, just tearing you down all the time. They're actually giving you constructive advice. Like, it's not just like, hey, no, don't do that. It's also just like, hey, you could also do this, or whatever it could be. Like maybe a mentor or somebody that you, like I said, look up to or value a lot. Then they could probably see your situation from an outside perspective, and just be able to kind of, so that's a situation when you would want to listen to somebody. And I think that there's endless examples, like an infinite amount of examples of these types of situations. Like I said, sometimes it's going to be your partner, like your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Sometimes it's going to be that some guy in the gym. Sometimes it's going to be, a coworker or a boss. And like I said, in a lot of these situations, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to our careers, when it comes to where we want to live, or how we want to commute, or how long we want to commute for, or all of these different little things in life that seem, some of them may seem extremely important to some of us, and then the others, they might seem inconsequential. But I think that a lot of the times, when it comes to a lot of these different things, just based off of our preferences, our goals, and where we've come from and where we want to go, being able to understand why you're doing what you're doing will help filter all of the input that you're going to get. Because even just this is a perfect example. Is just like, I'm somebody who's, actively listening to audiobooks and podcasts. And a lot of the time you're going to hear different people giving different advice. And if you're listening to this right now, then you're hearing me kind of trying to impose my ideas or my thoughts. And I think that even this, like, is something that you have to kind of filter out. Like, okay, like, do I want to, I guess this is kind of something that I'm not really telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how you can filter it. But, I'm somebody that sits and listens to podcasts for the most of my day. Like, if I'm working by myself, then I'm usually doing something that, I can just like throw a headphone in and listen to a podcast or an audiobook. And all the time I hear different things. Like, some people are, telling you, oh, you got to move out to the suburbs, you got to move out to the countries, and you got to homestead and do all this, stuff. And then other people are like, no, you got to make as much money as you can, become a millionaire, live in the city, do this, do that, go out for dinners and have all these nice things. And I think that maybe, everyone has different things that they want to do. And so for some people, it's like, yeah, I might want to move out to the suburbs and have that kind of, homesteading life, but not understanding what that comes with, like a lot of physical labor, a lot of, attention and time spent to try and, harvest food for yourself or just the sanitary things that people don't consider. And so I think that, when compared that as well to the opposite end of the spectrum, the millionaire living in the city type of American dream type of thing, think about the hours of lost sleep, think about the stress, think about the probably unhealthy aspects of the lifestyle attached to a lot of the things that, when people are getting into the finance industry and the real estate industry and they're doing all these things, mingling and partying and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I have to do it because it's social, it's the norm, it's this, it's that. And so a lot of these things, like I said, whether you're, just starting off, or you're halfway through your journey, or you're well into your journey, no matter where you are in life, there's always going to be people that are going to give you either solicited or unsolicited advice. And I think that if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, or where you want to go, or what you don't like about certain aspects of your life right now, then it's going to be difficult to filter the input that you're getting, the advice that you're getting from other people, because you might not understand that when they're giving you this advice, it's coming with the best intentions. It's coming from a place of love. But if they simply value different things than you, or want different things from you, or they're expecting a different outcome in their life than you want, and you're just aimlessly listening to their advice, you might get far in life, but you're not getting closer to where you want to be. And I think that that's why a lot of people, because they're so unaware of where they want to go and why they're doing what they're doing, they're so also quick to listen to the advice that they hear on social media or on podcasts or anything else. And then they do those things, but they don't get closer to where they want to be. They don't get happier. They don't feel good. And they sometimes a lot of the times it's easy to start to feel broken or disconnected, like thinking like, oh, I'm doing these things that, I heard were going to improve my life, but I don't feel better. Like, am I broken? Is this not the way to achieve, success or happiness? And I think that it just comes from this, if you don't know where you're aiming, you're never going to hit the target. And I think that if you're having a lot of people tell you like, hey, the target's over here, it's like, yeah, that's your target, but it might not be mine. And unless you actually start to think about what your targets actually are, then you're not going to hit them. And you're going to just kind of feel like you're wasting your time or aimlessly wandering. And so on that note, I hope that's kind of a good prompt, or a good kind of, a way to stimulate some thoughts for you as you get into this weekend and get cracking. Maybe you got a little bit of extra time. I know that for myself, like kind of Saturday mornings, or wake up, do some exercise, and then that's like my spare time to start to work towards either recovery or getting closer and kind of making game plans for myself. It's kind of like my sit down and do some work time. So on that note, I will give you guys just that kind of like prompt of like, yeah, maybe sit down this weekend and think about, and maybe this is something you've done before and you just need a little refresher. If you're feeling a little bit burnt out or tired or exhausted, just this kind of refresher of why you're doing what you're doing, why you live the lifestyle that you live, why you are, wanting to make a change so bad, and how you can start to do that, and evaluate maybe where you're getting advice from right now, and think about, is this person, do I want to be more like them? Do I want to be more like the people that they hang around with or spend time with, or the people that they admire? And on that note, I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up. So I will see you guys on Monday. Make sure you tune in for that episode. And if you enjoyed this content, then please do share this with somebody that you feel like needs to hear this message. or give it a little like, comment, subscribe, give it a little 5-star rating, leave a review. Whatever you think will help boost me in the algorithm probably will. So do that. So on that note, much love. Peace out. I will see you guys on Monday. Peace out. Bye.